Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for the second Sunday of Lent. And we have a reading from St. Mark again, and it's the story of the Transfiguration. Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no fuller on earth could bleach them. And Elijah appeared to them along with Moses, and they were conversing with Jesus. And Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He hardly knew what to say. They were so terrified. Then a cloud came, casting a shadow over them. From the cloud came a voice, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." And suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone, but Jesus was alone with them. As they were coming down the mountain, he charged them not to relate what they had seen to anyone, except when the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what rising from the dead meant. The Gospel of the Lord. Well, this great story of the Transfiguration really stands out in the Gospel because Jesus never did any kind of miracles to glorify himself. All the miracles he did were to heal and to cure, raise people from the dead. This is the only time he does a miracle to show off his glory. And, I think we can put it in the context of the deep kind of spiritual experiences we might have from time to time. Although this was something really extraordinary, and it was Jesus himself. But I'm sure all of us, at one time or another, in prayer, before the Blessed Sacrament, we have a real moment of encounter with God where we're certain about it. And it's to teach us something. It's to impress something on our soul that God wants to really get across to us, apart from our general knowledge of the faith and practice and so on. But it's a gift and it's a message for us, right? It's something that's supposed to change us. It's supposed to lead to a different kind of behavior. I think in the case of these 3 apostles, probably what Jesus was trying to do was strengthen them for the trials to come when he'd be arrested and crucified. He wanted them to see his glory. He wanted them to be sure that he was truly divine, Son of God, and so that they wouldn't waver later. And I think similarly, God does that to each of us when we seek it in prayer. He gives us a deep conviction, maybe a spiritual experience that changes us and transforms us. And we have to ask for that because that's what gives us the conviction in hard times. But I think the other part of this is Peter's crying out to the Lord and saying, "Hey, let's build 3 tents here. Let's keep this going. Let's stay up here on the mountain with you and Moses and Elijah." And suddenly the whole thing goes away. They're not called to stay there in that state, right? We're not called to be in the chapel all the time just praying. Most of us are called to be out in the world. And so we have to come down the mountain, even after those deep experiences. And we have to go out and evangelize, and we have to communicate our faith, and we have to spread it, and we have to live it, and we have to give a testimony and an example. It'd be nice if we could just stay on the mountaintop, but that's reserved for heaven. We got to take the experience that we have of God and bring it to others. What are you doing to bring it to others?